Okay, so we have a question. Um, Now, when you're given any question on proportion, you're not going to be told whether it is direct or indirect. You have to figure it out yourself. So we just go through the question, and then I think the first thing you should do when you have a question on proportion is first of all to know whether it's direct or indirect, because you can actually know without solving the question, as it were. So he said 3 kilos of chicken cost 2,550 naira. So you might want to write down what was given. So 3 kilos will cost 2,550. We're asked to find the cost of 2 kilos. Well, now there are many ways we can solve question on proportion, right? I think I know about 4 ways, but the one we like to teach and the one I think is very good for you to learn first is to solve for a unit first. So whatever thing you're asked to solve, find one unit of that thing first, so you can have like a constant that you're not going to use and get the others. So when we have 3 kilos equal to this amount, we're going to ask ourselves 1 kilo will cost how much. All right, now this is where we get whether this is direct proportion in inverse or indirect proportion. Now you notice that the number of kilos has reduced, right, from 3 to 1. Now think about it intuitively. If 3 kilos cost this much, 1 kilo should cost less, right? So you see that as the number of kilos, that's the quantity. Now you know the two quantities we are comparing here is kilo and amount in naira. So you see that the number of kilos has reduced to 1, then the naira is also going to reduce based on our calculations, right? So it means that two of them are reducing at the same time. That means this question is a direct proportion. All right, so now that we know it's direct proportion, we can now begin to use many ways. So but let's complete this pattern. Therefore 1 kilo is going to be, you have to divide the 250 naira into 3 places, because dividing to 3 places, each unit will give you 1 kilo. So let's do that. 3 into 25, because 3 can divide 2, so 3 into 25 is 8, remainder 1, into 15 is 5. I think I should clean that and put my naira first. So one thing that's very important in maths or physics is always put the units you are solving with. So this is 850 naira. So 1 kilo is 850. Now you see, we're using this method, it becomes easy because you can now find the other ones, very, very easy. So for the A part, 2 kilos is going to be 850 naira plus another 850 naira, which is just something as 2 times 850, right? B, 5 kilos is going to be the same thing as 5 times 850. And then C, just do it there, that's 14 kilos. Wow, that's going to be 14 times 850. So let's try to do this without calculator. So we just leave the 0. 2 times 5 is 10, we put 0, carry 1. 2 times 8 is 16 plus 1, that's 17, and then we have 0 there. So we have 1,700. 5 times 5 is 25. I'll give space this time. Then carry 2. 5 times 8 is 40. That's 42. So we add the 0 we didn't multiply by. So we have 4,250. The last one, oh, that's huge. So we have to work this one out, and then we put the 0. 5 times 4 is 20, carry 2. 5 times 1, 5, plus 2, that's 7. 8 times 4 is 32, that's 2, carry 3. Let's change this to 3. 8 times 1, 8, that's 11 now, plus that 3. So I have 9. So plus another 0. So we have 11,900. So that's the price for 2 kilos, 5 kilos, 14 kilos. Now, let's just see another way we can do this. Now, anytime you have a direct proportion, all right, once you are sure it's direct proportion, because what is direct proportion? Direct proportion means that the two quantities are either increasing or decreasing by the same rate. So once you have confirmed that it is by the same rate and the direct proportion, their ratios must always be equal, right? So we can use that. Although this method is relatively longer, you have to solve it one by one. So For instance, for the 2 kilos, if I want to use that method, now this is another thing you could do. You could say that since you were given from the question that's 3 kilos, just take the ratio of what you were given. From the question, 3 kilos was how much? 2,550. So just put the 3 kilos and 2,550. It must be equal to, let's say we are looking for the price of 2 kilos now, over the price 2 kilos is going to cost. Now we don't know, we want to find the price because that's what we asked to find, the cost. Alright, so once something is direct proportion, all quantities are directly proportional to each other, their ratios must be equal. We can also do the same for the other one. So I'll just solve 2 just to prove. So let's also find the cost for 5 kilos using this method. Now, for the first one, see if we just cross multiply, we're going to have, I'm going to neglect the kilos now. Well, in fact, the kilos are going to cancel out, so we're just going to have naira because that's cost we're looking for. So 3 times x, you see we're going to have 3x is equal to 2,550 times 2. Well, that would be 4,000. No, that should be 5,100 naira. So 5,100 naira. I hope I'm correct. And then in this case, kilos cancel kilo also. 3 times this is 3x equal to 5 times this. Well, I don't want to use the calculator, so we'll continue using our calculating this. So 5 times 5 is 25. I have 5 carry 2. 5 times 5 25 plus 2, that's 27. 5 times 2 10, that's 12, and that's 0. So I have 12,750. Well, I just divide by 3 to get s, divide by 3 to get s. So for the first one, I'm going to put the final answer here, so that the price s is 5,100 naira divided by 3. Well, 3 into 5 is, I'm just going to put my naira there. 3 into 5 is 1, remainder 2 into 21 is 7, and then you have 2 zeros. So that corresponds. You see that we have 1 7, we have 1 7. For this one, I'm going to put the answer there. So you see that 3 is going to cancel 3, so that x is equal to 3 into 12 is 4. Put your naira. 4. 3 into 7 is 2, remainder 1 into 15 is 5. So we have 4,250. That's the price for 5 kilos. And I think it corresponds with the one we saw before. Yes, we see that 4,250. So that is it. Anytime quantities are directly proportional to each other, you can use this method and solve. Now, I have 2 other methods that I can teach you, but we just work with these 2 for this video. So I hope it was helpful.